All right, I will now open tonight's meeting, just to, so that you know, I am Marilyn McDonald, Bridgewater Conservation Chair. This is not a regular meeting, it's an extra meeting with administrative business where we didn't have a quorum so that we may stay caught up eventually on our next hearing on the 28th. So this doesn't have any old business, doesn't have any new business, it just has administrative items that we'd like to get off our list to keep next week's October 28th regular meeting a little bit shorter and organized. So thank you, Harry, I have you on board?
Yes.
Thank you for joining via Zoom. Jennifer, I understand you're on board.
Yes, I am.
Okay, all right. So those are the people from Conservation and Economic Development. We have here with me member Eileen Prisco, along with Steve Slobo, Economic Planner, and Nicole Selmas. Let me for one second. And excuse me, Jennifer Burke, but I do forget your married name. Sorry.
That's okay.
But newly married, so it'll take me a little bit of time. All right, we're gonna get going right into conservation business on my agenda, which I believe is gonna match yours anyway. Yeah, we have administrative items, certificate of compliance, 2 Crimson Way, map 111, lot 44, applicant Crimson Heights LLC, representative Silver Engineering, DEP file number SC 116-1477. So just so I know, I have read the packet that you sent along with the engineering reports, but as always, it's your blessing that I look to once you go out and check these things out.
Sure enough. So you'll see a bunch of these on tonight's agenda.
Yeah, actually, I'm sorry, Steve. Do you want me to put all of, this is the
We have
area
to
where,
do roll call voting, so I would suggest maybe doing them one by one.
okay, that's perfect. Good. All right.
But anyways, you guys are probably familiar with this little subdivision. They're all residential lots.
Yeah.
And they're looking for their certificates of compliance. And the last thing that we typically look for here on the Conservation Commission and from a staff perspective is stabilization of the site. The sites are all in buffer zone to resource areas. And as you can see, the plans up there for this particular lot, these sites are all stabilized with a green grass mix in the backyard leading up to the 25-foot no touch or an extended buffer beyond that. I've swung by again this, well, it was last week. Swung by again last week just to make sure that after all the rain we've been getting, the sites were still stable. They were doing a little bit of landscape work the first time I was out there on the roadway, but everything still looks good out there. So it did include pictures showing, I believe those pictures are from quite a while ago now, probably about 60 to 90 days out. But that is indicative of what's on site, stabilized grass, lawn area. So
Okay.
they're all pretty consistent and they check out.
All right. As long as you've been out there. Okay. At this point then, I will entertain a motion, please.
You don't want to ask anybody else from the board?
Yeah, anybody have any questions?
Harry?
Harry, any
No.
questions on your end?
No, I'm all set.
Yeah, okay, thank you for reminding me, Eileen.
Okay.
All right, at this time, the chair would entertain a motion, please, for 2 Crimson Way.
A motion to issue the COC for 2 Crimson Way, from Crimson Heights LLC,
Second.
map 111, lot 44. Sorry.
I heard a second. Any further discussion? All right, I'm gonna do roll call vote. Marilyn McDonald, aye. Eileen Prisco.
Aye.
Harry Bailey.
Aye.
All right. Okay. Moving on to next certificate of compliance, we have 4 Crimson Way, map 111, lot 15. Applicant Crimson Heights LLC, Representative Larry Silva. We have DEP file number SC 116-1473. Again, Steve, I'll give you the table on that.
Yep, so this is very similar to the one we just looked at. As you can see by the pictures, which are very indicative of the site today. Stable grassed area leading up to the buffer zone and as you descend down towards the resource area. This one's set back a little bit further. The buffer zone the incursion into the buffer zone on this one is actually the outer 50 foot. So this one is actually a little bit further away, but consistent with the rest of the lots.
All right, no issues. Eileen, any questions?
No, I'm good.
Harry via Zoom, any questions, hon?
No.
Okay, all right, that being said, Chair would entertain a motion, please.
Motion to approve 4 Crimson Way, map 111, lot 15, Crimson Heights LLC, the COC.
Second.
Here in a second, any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote, please. Marilyn McDonald, aye. Eileen Prisco,
Aye.
Harry Bailey.
Aye.
All right. Get issued on that. Moving right along, we have a certificate of compliance for 6 Crimson Way, map 111, lot 47. Applicant Crimson Heights LLC, Representative Larry Silver of Associates, Silver Associates. Okay, once again, Steve, please.
Yep, it's like deja vu all over again. You know, it is a cul-de-sac, so
Yeah.
they are all contiguous lots as well, so a lot of these lots share property lines, but
Yeah.
this one's very similar to the previous two. As you can see by the pictures, still indicative of what's on site, stable grassed area, all located in the buffer zone to the resource area.
Okay. All right. I have no questions on this
No.
filing. Eileen, any questions?
No.
Harry, any questions?
No.
Okay, moving right along then, for the chair will entertain a motion, please.
Motion to approve 6 Crimson Way certificate of compliance, map 111, lot 47, Crimson Heights LLC.
Second.
All right, here in a second, any further discussion?
No.
Hearing none, roll call vote, Marilyn McDonald, aye. Eileen Prisco,
Aye.
Harry Bailey.
Aye.
All right. Okay, moving right along to certificate of compliance, we have next 8 Crimson Way, map of 111, lot 48, Crimson Heights LLC, Representative Larry Silver, Silver Engineering, DEP file number SE 116-1475. Steve, please.
Yep, so we're still in the same cul-de-sac. We're still in the buffer zone to the same wetland system. As you can see by the pictures on the site plan here, stable grassed area leading to the buffer zone and then to where it's basically wooded and then it leads back to the resource area.
Yeah.
So I would suggest the issuance of the CSC.
All right. Thank you for the visual aid, nice pictures.
That was
Okay,
not Silva, but I put them in my report.
all right, right, it's easy, nice packet. All right, any questions, Eileen?
Nope.
Harry,
No.
at this time, chair will entertain a motion, please.
I make a motion to approve the certificate of compliance for 8 Crimson Way, Crimson Heights LLC, map 11148, lot 48.
Second.
Here in a second, any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote, please. Marilyn McDonald, aye. Eileen Prisco,
Aye.
Harry Bailey.
Aye.
Thank you. All right, we'll keep the train rolling to certificate of compliance, 7 Crimson Way, map 111, lot 49, Crimson Heights LLC, Silver Engineering, DEP file number SC 116-1476. Steve.
Yeah, and this is the last one out there.
Sorry, I think
There
this
are,
was out of order, but
yeah, there are a couple sites out there that are actually not in the Conservation Commission's jurisdiction. But this is the last one that is. As you can see by the plan that was provided by the engineer, the pictures on the side there, it's still indicative of what's there, grass buffer zone leading up to the resource area behind the home, so.
Eileen, any questions?
Nope.
Harry, any questions?
No.
All right, hearing none, roll call vote, hearing no questions,
Motion.
motion to entertain a motion, please.
I make a motion to approve 7 Crimson Way certificate of compliance, map lot 111, lot 49, Crimson Heights LLC.
Second.
Hearing a second, any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote, Marilyn McDonald, aye. Eileen Prisco,
Aye.
Harry Bailey.
Aye.
All right. Okay, moving along, on the next certificate of compliance, we have 75 Fireworks Circle, map 88, lot 84. William McCarthy, representative is Michael J. Costco and Associates, DEP file number SC 116-1432. Steve, again, please, I'm sure you've been out
Yeah,
there.
I have been out to this site. It was part of, I believe, the staff report was part of the packet that went out. I did take a couple pictures. This one was approved a little bit closer to the existing resource area back there. You probably are all familiar with Fireworks Circle. It's a lot of,
Yeah, thank-
commercial,
I just noticed it
it's
was
a
a
lot of
little.
commercial use and like industrial use maybe out there.
Yep.
But the site is predominantly concrete cement through and through.
Yeah, we're very
Um,
familiar with this,
Yeah,
I
so
actually
this
went out
site,
to
I
this
mean,
one.
this
Yep.
is the as-built
You
that was
go out?
provided
Yep,
by
I went
Costco.
Yep.
Michael Costco, and I went out and verified that everything was installed as it is on the as-built plan, and it is.
Yep.
In reference to the buffer zone and conservation concerns that we had.
Yep.
Everything checked out on site, and I suggest that the commission issue the certificate.
Okay, thank you for going out, and Eileen, it sounds like you went out, no
I did.
concerns, all right.
Nope.
Harry, anything on your end?
No, everything looks good.
Okay, at this time then, Chair would entertain a motion, please.
I'll make a motion to approve 75 Fireworks Circle, map 88, lot 81, for the certificate of compliance.
second,
Harry, here in a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Roll call vote. Marilyn McDonald, aye. Eileen Frisco.
Aye.
Harry Bailey.
aye,
All right. I think at that time that wraps up any compliances, certificate of
Yep.
compliances. Approval of meeting minutes, September 9th, please.
I read the meetings, the minutes. Is everybody else okay?
I'm okay. Harry, any questions on your end on the September 9th meeting minutes?
no,
Okay, then Chair would entertain a motion, please.
Make a motion to approve the meeting minutes of September 9th.
second,
And here in a second, any further discussion on minutes? Hearing none. Roll call vote. Marilyn McDonald, aye. Harry Bailey.
aye,
I fooled you guys. Eileen Frisco.
Aye.
All right, we have completed, let me just double check the updated one. We have completed conservation business as far as certificates and minutes. Next, we go to discussion items. We have an administrative approval of 140 Apple Tree Circle for tree removal for safety reasons.
Yeah, I'll just give you a little bit of background on this before. I sent you guys out a report showing some of the pictures and the sizes of the trees that had to come down. Initially, this was called in as a potential enforcement, because there's a small intermittent stream and wetland area that runs down behind the property.
Yep.
Someone from the neighborhood had called about the removal of trees. I looked up quickly
Oh,
to see
yeah,
if there was any permits there. Went out and responded to the site while they were actively cutting. And, stopped them right there and just wanted to know what was going on. And obviously, I mean, you guys saw the size of the trees. That
Yeah,
was the
they're
first
big.
thing that I looked at. I was like, some of them were native, some of them weren't natives, but they weren't necessarily invasive either. But just the massive size of them, I was like, wow, these are old trees. And why are they being cut? And after talking to the tree removal guy and the arborist that he had part of his staff, once we went around and looked at the trees, especially the ones that he'd already cut, and then he's knocking on the stumps and trunks of the other ones that basically hollow. And we're talking like 100-plus-year-old trees
Yeah,
that are looming over this resident's house.
yeah, that's scary.
So unfortunately, it was a situation where the health
Yeah,
of the
they got-
trees was poor enough where a windstorm or any type of
Could
weather
have
event
destroyed
could,
those.
yeah.
And hurt
have
people.
insurance application.
And we've seen a lot of that lately.
Well,
Even on wetland areas, with trees going
So I
down.
mean, the other flip side, with trees that big with a big taproot, they're gonna come down and then that close to the wetland area, they may actually disturb the wetland area more because
Right.
if they topple over, then you have all that sediment rushing in. So what I did was I spoke with the arborist and spoke with the homeowner. They're gonna leave the wood that comes down on site stacked in almost effectively determining a new limit of work, because as I was down there, I also noticed the neighbors or the neighborhood in general was using an area adjacent to this woman's property as a site to dump grass clippings, which we all know is a
That's
common
very
issue
common.
and problem we have in
Common
town.
problem, yeah.
So I just said, it might be nice if we create sort of a barrier, so you know that you shouldn't be going really any
Beyond it.
further. And it just sets up a natural line for you to adhere to, and it's just visually there for you.
Right.
So after, those trees came down, I haven't been out to check to see if the work's completed yet. I do plan on going down and checking it out to see what happened to the wood, but it was unfortunate to see the age and size of the trees that had to come down, but I mean, from a safety perspective, it was,
So it wasn't long, especially if anybody, we're all about safety.
yeah.
Things have to be maintained. Just come and talk to us.
Yeah, that was the main message too. I was like,
Right.
you have a wetland out back, just for future reference,
Come and
call us
see it.
first. And,
Right.
you would have avoided the slightly irritated me showing up on site first saying, what exactly are you doing?
Am I getting phone calls?
Especially near, property. We don't want to see anybody's property destroyed or
Exactly,
hurt or anything like that.
exactly.
So we're all about safety,
she-
but just come in and make sure you address it with you and
Yeah.
it's done in a proper way. And again, it sounds like you worked it out great
Yeah.
and putting a barrier there for future use and where to go and where not to go. So
Yeah.
at the end, it sounds like a win-win, but we can
Yeah,
all
because I'm a
learn.
homeowner, it's not cheap to remove trees. that
No,
big.
it's
I
not.
mean, it's-
No.
It was quite the investment and, for the reasons behind it.
Yeah.
And it was nice. I think everybody at the end of the day walked away with a scenario in their mind where they felt good about it because, safety was Conservation Commission got at least their staff to look at it and say this is appropriate. And then the tree guys knew, because the tree guys, it was like, no, I want you to mark these trees. These are the ones that come down. If I come down back here and there's trees that we didn't mark and they're down, I have,
Now we're gonna talk.
you know, just that stuff too, just making sure that they just know, you know, this is the limit. Please don't go any further.
Perfect.
So.
Perfect. All right. Okay. All right. Well, thank you for bringing that. All right. Next on discussion is, oh, okay, Steve. Next on discussion is 0 and 1300 Vernon Street, letter issued and received. So I'm going to start this by reading into the letter that was sent out, going into the record. So on September 14th, a letter was sent out to the, with the contractor for this property is Manuel Bajinga Jr., 586 Manley Street, West Bridgewater, sent by email and certified return receipt. We did get a certified return receipt on this, correct?
Yes, we got
Okay.
one from Manny and one from Silva Engineering.
Okay, so those, I believe, came in. So the letter read as above, 0 and 13 Vernon Street. Dear Mr. Bajinga, at the Conservation Commission meeting on September 9, 2021, the commission voted the following regarding the above property. The pile of dirt located at the subject property to be restored to where it is a maze with proper erosion control in place. Also, prior to any additional work being done on the property, the erosion controls must be inspected by a member of the commission or by the DPW director. The work outlined in this letter shall be completed within 21 days of the date of the letter. For any further questions, please contact the Department of Community and Economic Development at 978-697-0950. Regards, Marilyn McDonald, Chair, Bridgewater Conservation. We have a CC here of Stanley and Michael Kravitz, along with Silver Engineering. So when I came in to sign the letter, I did inquire why Stanley and Michael Kravitz, it was, that's when I found out they owned it, yeah.
He's the property
Yeah.
owner.
Which is fine, I didn't, sometimes,
We chose to cover our bases. We wanted to make sure everyone got there.
right, so sometimes
that's good.
contractors work on their own property that they
Yeah.
own too, so,
Yeah,
okay, so I got that. Back received, that Nicole sent out to me was received to the Conservation Office on September 21st, 2021, I believe it came in right around then. Marilyn McDonald, Chair, Town of Bridgewater Conservation, via certified return receipt for 013 Vernon Street, correspondent dated September 14, 2021. Dear Ms. McDonald, at this time, I do not have permission from the property owner to proceed with any work at 0 and 13 Vernon Street, as referenced in the correspondent dated September 14, 2021. Please notify the appropriate property owner regarding this matter. Thank you, Mr. Manuel Bajinga, President of MGM Construction Corporation. JM, sorry. So Nicole, to my knowledge, you have gotten no receipt back from Stanley or Michael Kravitz on the property owners.
Nope, not at this time, but I did also send a not certified letter, because you know how the
Right.
certified, you have to wait for someone to get it. So I just also sent just a regular mail there, hoping that might get to them as well.
You didn't get that one back.
I haven't heard anything back at this time, no.
So something, I mean, I'm finding this, to be honest, unacceptable at this time. I mean, you know, this has to be addressed. Looks like we have an AMAD coming in on the 28th, so who's responsible for that if we're not hearing back on this? You know, we've got to get this pile resolved and the appropriate property owner then. I mean, who do we reach out to afterwards? Does the town able to help us and send somebody out to the property owner? But clearly this can't be ignored any further. You know, it's got to be addressed. You know, we've held off any fines, but at this point, we need to get this letter, this pile in order per conservation, per our rules and regulations, and it needs to be addressed. So, Jennifer, I will take any help in getting this matter to the appropriate person, but this needs to be addressed, especially if we have an ORAD on that property coming before us. At this point, I'll take any comments from Eileen.
I agree with everything that you said. I don't know why anybody that's an applicant isn't allowed to go on the property, but it doesn't sound correct or right. And I don't know why anybody wouldn't respond. That's a resident of the town that got a certified letter. So my concerns are very much your concerns and maybe more, that someone isn't doing the right thing and that they're trying to bypass the Conservation Commission. I don't know what they're doing, but I don't really care. I just think that it's in our best interest to find an avenue where we can get this straightened out prior to or or along with any decisions that we make on that property.
It needs to be addressed. We've asked it to be addressed. Harry, any comments on your end, please?
No, I agree with both of you.
Okay. So where do we go from here to make sure that this letter is received and actions are taken? Jen, any thought on your end?
Yeah, so just as the FYI, my internet is going in and out. It's freezing. So I missed a little bit of what you said, but I think I got the gist of what you said.
Okay.
Unfortunately, we can't force people.
And now you froze. All right.
We need to hear what you have to say.
I know, I can't.
I'm letting her know we can't see her because she's frozen.
It's for the owner. So I don't-
Jen, we could not hear you at all. You totally froze.
Okay, so if you could just start.
Can you
over.
start over? Because you literally froze.
So can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, so I was gonna say, we can't force somebody to pick up their mail. We've sent it certified, we've sent it regular mail. We tried to email it, but we didn't have an email address. So, the Kravitzes, for whatever reason are not.
And you're freezing again. Can she call in? Can't hear you.
Using.
We can't hear you at all. You freeze every couple of seconds, so we're not really getting the benefit of
All right,
what you're saying. Is there any
All
way you
right.
can call into us?
yep, hold on.
Thank you.
And this is why I like it.
Mhm.
Harry, are you still there?
I'm here.
Okay, just making sure we got you.
I'm gonna try to send it to her, see if that's helpful.
Sure.
646-876-99. Oh, here she is. Okay, she's just gonna zoom. Text her the number like 8 times incorrectly. She's coming.
All right.
All right,
All right, Jim, why don't you start from the beginning, because we really didn't get much
right.
with the freezing.
All right. Sorry, I'm on my phone, so you may not be able to see my video, but can you guys hear me okay now?
We can
Yep.
hear you good now, so that's what counts.
Okay, perfect. So what I was saying is that, unfortunately, we can't force somebody to pick up their mail. We have sent it regular mail, we've sent it certified mail. We tried to email it to them, but we didn't have a valid email address for the Kravitz family. I'm not sure why they're not responding or not answering, our requests to pick up their mail, but it's something that happens sometimes and we just have to, deal with it. I would say that the commission's next step in the situation would be to issue an enforcement order. If that's, your choosing. I think that's, a little bit more stronger message than just the letter. And then that starts the ball rolling if the commission then decides they want to issue fines as well.
Okay, no, I agree. This is, this has to be attended to, and we've tried multiple times, and, now we're gonna be down to the enforcement, so.
So
Yeah.
I've given Nicole a blank enforcement order. If you guys can at least sign the back page and then maybe fill out some of the parts that talk about what, your concerns are for the specific extent and type of activity that the violation is, and then what you feel the part of the act or the local bylaw that it's violating, that would be helpful for me. And then I'll bring it back. She can bring it back to the office tomorrow and I'll type it up. But at a minimum, if you guys can sign the back page, that way we'll have it, the signatures, and it can get sent out as soon as I can type it up.
Yep, all right, that sounds good. I'm gonna,
No, because we really don't have anything to quote on an order, because this was something that was allowed, wasn't it? In the beginning,
allowed,
so
but
it's
it
very
is-
complicated, we need to be.
which is why I want to put more things into this
Well,
order. So we can
Jennifer-
vote right now to do an enforcement order and then,
no, I
and then put
understand
in
that, but my question to Jennifer is, what would we be using for our reasons for the incitements or the enforcement that we're gonna issue as far as the
working without a permit.
violations, no, what are the code violations that we can state?
Working without,
I mean, I would argue that, I guess he is, if you're gonna cite the local bylaw, he's
Yep.
violating the section that says you can't alter, you know, within, I mean, it's hard to say because we haven't had the
Yeah.
delineation approved, so I don't know if he's within 100 feet of a bank, lake or stream or pond.
He's in 200
it's a
feet.
200-foot restriction, so,
But they were
yeah.
told-
Well, but
Yeah,
in
100.
your local bylaw, it doesn't refer to the 200 feet, it only refers to the 100 feet. So the 200 feet is the state act. So if you're gonna do it under the Wetlands Protection Act for the 200 feet, we'd have to put that language in there.
I mean, we can
That's
put this
fine.
with this one.
No,
So
that's fine.
actually, the more I think about it, I'd rather hold off signing this right now. I'd rather
Okay,
pile what we want to put in it, and then, you know, we're all local, we can buzz in and sign
Okay.
it. You know, send it out, because, you
I
know,
want it to be done right.
yeah, I want this to be.
that's fine. I was just trying to make it easy for you
No,
guys so
You
that,
know,
We understand you, I just want to.
Thank you for the one-stop shop, and we get it, but yeah.
I just want to make sure we don't make a mistake. and
okay,
have
well,
this-
why don't
Yeah,
I work,
yeah,
why
yeah,
don't I
yeah.
work on it over the next couple of days and I can send it out to the commission and then you can fill in what you think is missing or what makes some changes and
Okay.
run it from there.
All right,
That would be wonderful.
that
Thank
sounds,
you.
that sounds like a plan. So we will,
Well, do we need to vote to?
Yeah, I would like a vote of the
Yes.
yes,
commission to issue an enforcement
Any
order.
further questions from Eileen or
No,
any further,
I'm,
Carrie, any further input from you on this?
No, I'm all set now.
Okay, so Chair would entertain a motion for enforcement on 0 and 1300 Vernon Street, please.
I make a motion to prepare and serve an enforcement order
Fine.
with fines to the applicant, the property owner, and the engineer, so that they are all served and are all aware of what we're doing.
Second.
Okay, further discussion at.
So the only,
Let's go to the property owner itself at this point, where we're getting notified that the applicant has no permission to work on the land.
it
Well,
does, so
okay,
enforcement
so the-
orders do they do get served to the property owner and they get attached to the property itself. The applicant will get noticed as well. I'm not sure that the engineer, I mean, he's not gonna, I mean, I'll send it to him, but he's not gonna care one way or the other. So,
Well, courtesy to him so that he knows what's,
correct. Yeah,
so,
correct. But he's
not
not gonna
really-
probably do anything about it.
Yeah, no,
Um,
I respect him.
My only not concern, but question, I guess, is, so you said with fines, so the commission, the only authorization you have to issue fines is under our local bylaw. And you don't have any jurisdiction under the state act to issue fines. So if he's not violating anything under the local bylaw, I'm not sure how we can issue a fine at this time.
Well, right now, he has not had permission to be within a 100-foot and a 200-foot.
Okay.
The line has been
Yeah,
established.
and you know what? I mean, this is something unfortunately we haven't had to do a lot because, you know, we work with people on this stuff. So I'd like to kind
Yeah,
of look back and, you know, see what we've done in the past. I've been on this commission since 13, 14. So I'd like to look back, you know, also maybe check in with, you know, what we've done in the past on these type of things. And then, you know, we have a couple of days, Jen, to work with you and look
Sure.
into what we've done and maybe, you know, ask for a little advice on this going forward so that, you
Okay.
know, it's done properly, fairly, and to the law.
Okay, no problem. I can do some research on that for you.
Appreciate it.
Thank
Okay.
you.
All right, so at this time, we'll just take a roll call vote on the enforcement order while in working. Okay, roll call. Mary McDonald, aye. Eileen Prisco,
Aye.
Harry Bailey.
Aye.
All right, very good. So we're gonna hold off on signing anything until we get everything worked out.
Yep, sounds good.
You will just, I'll just take, maybe.
You can scan it to us.
You want me to do that?
Yeah, that way, you can, yeah. Scan it over. Okay, so after that, we had, environmental planning report. Oh, what's this? Oh, here we go.
I texted him.
Okay, thank you.
I summoned him.
I like it.
Yeah, so,
Perfect.
so from this point forward, what we'll probably do is discussion items will essentially be the environmental planners report. So what I'll do is I'll be able to grab all the items that would typically be discussion items, put them in an additional just environmental planners report. So that way all the discussion items will be in there.
So it'll be like one-stop shop for us when we do that at the end?
Nice.
Okay, nice. All right,
Perfect for me.
let's give that a check.
So.
Do we need to
that's-
vote on it or are you just
No,
good?
no, that's just, it just makes it a little bit easier for me and it makes it easier for Nicole when it comes to the agenda. Because what it allows us to do, and from your perspective, it allows you guys to have me write a report in the 2 weeks that happen in between meetings.
Yep.
Take anything that's relevant to the Conservation Commission, jot it down, and that way we don't have to list every single item. But anything relevant to the Conservation Commission will be in my report. And then I can simply say it under one line at the end. This is what's on the report for the week. You guys will have a copy of the report.
Yep.
Okay, nice.
Works
Some
for
weeks,
me.
some weeks there may not be anything on the report. You may ask for my report and I'm gonna be, there is nothing to report this week.
Okay,
So
perfect. I like it.
there is 2 items on for this week that aren't in any sort of paper. Dispensing, if you guys, I know I sent an email about changing potentially the meeting time.
Yeah.
Yes. So actually, I'm all for like, you know, moving it up to 6. I think moving it, we obviously moved it from 7 back because sometimes if you have a long agenda, you know, it's tiring, especially if, you know,
10:30 at night.
people work during the day. There's been a couple of times I've come from being up at 4:30 and you're like, you know, your eyes are half masked by the time you're trying to finish the day. So moving it back works.
Wendy can't do forward anyway, and later anyway.
Yeah, and we don't want to go back later. I think that the moving it back to 6, if we're all in favor of that, gets enough time, especially if we're still staying in a little of the Zoom world. As you know, I'm going to be preferring to come in-house all the time.
Yeah.
But it gets us in a little earlier, gets people in a little
Sure.
earlier to tend to their matters afterwards. So I think 6 would be the cutoff moving forward. I have no problem with that. We can,
Yeah.
I also want to let you know, I did check, because they do spraying in here on Thursdays, you know, the sanitary spray.
Mhm.
So you have the ability to move it forward even more, which we wouldn't be opposed to, because we'd like to be able to stay here and not go back and
Right,
forth.
right.
But we can pretty much work with it. He said it should be done shortly before 5, so I would say you could even go up to 5:30 if you'd like.
see, the only thing I worry about is people that need to hop on from their
Right,
jobs.
right.
So
Well,
that's
right
the
now,
only-
we're only letting them do Zoom, so a
Right.
lot of people are finding.
But you
that
still
they-
can't be zooming when you're driving, so that's the only, I
Well, you
mean,
can zoom on your phone.
But can I just,
yes, but
from that
if you're driving.
perspective, just from the experience of what I've been hearing
Yes.
from like the consultants too, because I sit on the board in Bourne.
Yep.
And so I've seen sort of, they're fully remote, back to fully remote now. We tried like going back in person for a few weeks and it just because of the traffic for the 4th of July and all that stuff, we quickly went back to remote. I will say that even the public has preferred earlier meetings. They've asked us to move up our meetings
Wow.
because it
So
makes them more able to make it. And I think almost like 6 might interfere with dinner because
Yeah.
most people are home. Some people are working from home, so for
Yeah.
them to just
They're the
simply
most
like it.
efficient
I just
ones I've
think
ever seen when
we don't
they
have to
come
decide-
5:37.
We don't have to decide on a time tonight.
No,
but
I wouldn't, because.
So again, I mean, I'm open to any type of early meeting. I mean, the earlier
If
the
you
better.
guys want to
My
kind of,
concern is just the abut, so if abutters and people that need to get on for any questions and applicants, if they're finding, we can always trial it.
Right.
If 5:30 you start
Yeah.
getting complaints, I couldn't get on, then we can
Sure.
go.
That's
But I am very
That's
open
true, that's true, yeah.
to like, trialing it, the earlier the better.
Yeah.
And then if we find that people, you guys will get the calls if
Sure.
they're unable to get onto us. So,
Yeah, no, I just think we're seeing a little
Yeah, you-
bit of, we're finally starting to
I'll
figure out what
convince him it's
Zoom's
fine.
impact was.
Yeah,
And we're starting to see that, especially like, for instance, like Matt Byrne, for next week's meeting potentially with Vernon Street. I was asking him because he's like, have you guys gone back remote yet? Because he's seeing a lot of remote around the state.
there's a ton of them.
And it allows him to make multiple meetings per night. And he likes the fact that towns are starting to stagger them so that
Yeah, so they
he can make
can
multiple
back
meetings in the
That's a
night.
good idea too.
And I mean, you see some boards in some towns that are obviously a little bit smaller.
Yeah.
That have meetings at like noon too. I mean,
Really?
I was gonna-
literally,
yeah.
like, based on Mass General Law, you guys can plan your meeting for whenever you want.
Wow.
You literally could make it at noon, and as long as you advertise it correctly, and the notices get out there, and they say that's the time of the meeting, the public, they've been told.
And we
They
checked
need
some
to make
other
time.
boards in town, because we just wanted to. book
Yeah, we
right
just wanted to
around.
research it a little
And
bit.
there are some that are just as early, 5:30. I mean, we saw a
Yeah.
couple that were really early, and we were surprised, but.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm fine, again,
Something to
if
think
you
about.
start getting heard from the public that they're unable to attend, because, we're here for the wetlands, but we're also here for the applicants, the
The
abutters, we're here for
residents,
everything, the
everybody.
residents, so as long as it's working for everybody,
Public service.
I'm gonna tell you right now, the earlier the better is great.
We love that too.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
I'm
we
gonna
don't
put
have to
that
go
out there,
anywhere.
I didn't
so.
realize how much I would miss a newborn baby until like,
Ah,
I
yeah.
started getting my meetings, and the worst part is I have class 2 nights a week, so
Oh,
like,
my
I'm
God.
at the very end of, I've been
Oh.
over there till 9 o'clock, Tuesday, Wednesday, and now I'm still in town tonight, so this
Wow.
week, I'm coming to the tail end of the long stretch of my week, if you can see it on my face.
Don't worry.
I get it.
And we've had meetings gone late back in the day with that.
Yeah,
It was a
but
7:30 start when I started, we're like, we started,
Well, that was-
edging
yeah.
back.
I remember when I first started
Tomorrow.
managing
Table.
in Mashpee, there was nights we were going till midnight,
Oh, yeah,
and it was.
I've done that, yeah.
Well, I plan
And,
to
you know,
post next week's agenda tomorrow. I wanted to hold off in case you guys wanted to change next week. and
Yeah, we
give
can
it
try
a
it next
shot.
week.
I mean, you have. to
I-
be here if you'd like
I,
to talk
I,
tonight.
I'm fine, I'm fine with doing 5:30.
Let's do 5:30.
It's PM though, right?
Not AM, thank goodness.
Wait a minute, so, and what do we have for an agenda? Do we know?
Yeah,
We do.
It's pretty
So-
much the
yeah, it's
other
pretty
half
much,
that was
yeah,
missing here.
the other
So
half
it's
that was missing.
Whitman,
Whitman Street, Forest Street, Trevor's Way.
Are they COCs?
No, there's an RDA, 2
Yeah,
notices of
there's
intent.
new filings, old filings.
So one's a septic NOI because of its proximity. Actually, I think there's 2 septic NOIs.
yeah.
So,
And then Whitman is a new home construction.
yeah, I know that one.
Over across the street
Yep.
from the place that was just bought out. And then the wastewater treatment plant is up
Yes.
next week as well. So the wastewater treatment plant, I was out there today. I'm gonna be
I
working
go
on
by
it
that a lot,
tomorrow.
yeah.
I met with Scott Mello, who's the operator out
Mhm,
there.
yeah.
And he said that if you guys want to come by and get a tour of how everything.
Yeah,
works.
that'd be
Love
great.
Yeah.
And also, because he was talking about the upgrades that are due and how much, basically the crystal clear water that's gonna be going back into the system. And he is so excited, and
I think every Bridgewater resident's excited.
I know.
yeah, I mean, I didn't.
I had to put a filter in my home, I was like, oh my
I went
God.
down there and I was impressed
Like
with the
Norton.
site and how clean it is and like.
Yeah, no, I drive by there a lot, it looks good.
So he's excited about the upgrades. He's really into wastewater. He's really about like cleaning up the drinking water and making
That's
sure that the
fabulous.
residents
Um,
are getting the best product of that.
so we're not gonna be doing 0 to 1300.
I highly doubt it.
I do too.
mean, They're
They're on for
the
now.
agenda. We may
Right,
hear
right,
a
right.
continuance of
Yeah,
some sort.
Right, that's what I'm assuming.
I know,
But I
I know
obviously
the
can't
applicant
assume.
is working on other projects that
Right.
he's got going on, so he's been sort of
Keeping us
continuing
all
until
swift.
he's done
Okay.
with that.
Yeah.
So
But
I'd like to get that.
we may see something tomorrow, we may, who
Right.
knows, might even come up
Wednesday
tonight.
night,
Who
right.
knows?
Harry, you still there, honey?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, Harry, you
We have
good
to
with
vote?
5:30 to,
I'm excellent with 5:30 because I have the other meeting at 7.
Look at
so
these guys
5:30
smiling.
looks good.
And that will help you and us actually on your meetings when you're with the
That's what you just
the
said.
Taunton River, yeah, that's,
Or if It relieves that conflict.
to relieve that conflict.
Right.
So, if you guys can,
Well, my only question is now, for the next meeting, because we've already had people notified the newspaper and stuff, did they notify at the correct time?
Well, they notified for like 3 meetings ago. We canceled like 3
Right, but
meetings ago.
any new items?
There's nothing new. Oh,
Wastewater treatment.
wastewater.
Call.
Let me check on that. If they, I will find out tomorrow. If they
Otherwise, if we
we'll
have to
keep
do
it.
one at 6:30 for
No
next
biggie.
week, that, no biggie,
Yeah.
then you have plenty of time
That's,
for the
that's
public
my
to be
only thought
notified
is
on
that
the.
they've advertised. and
Yeah,
we're
because once
notified.
you're advertised.
It's a town project, we don't want.
I would
add any
think
cost
because
to it.
Friday would be that 5th day, right? Friday, well, no, do the weekends count on that noticing?
For what?
5 days in.
No, you have to have 5 business
So it'd be
days.
Friday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, well, actually it would have been today.
So they would have ran it today.
So more than likely.
What's
more
the-
than-
one?
6:30. And then we can switch to 5:30.
Well,
Well, look at the bright side, we got all the
Find out
administrative
first.
stuff out of it done.
I'm sure they did. I'm sure they did it, but
I
I'll
may
check.
have a conflict next week. But
Oh,
everybody else is gonna be here.
Yeah,
Hopefully Wendy's gonna be here.
yeah.
I think Wendy said
Okay.
No, didn't
she would. Yeah, Wendy said she would make
We'll
this
figure it
work.
out.
All right.
All right, we'll figure it out. Oh, and the only other thing,
5:30.
speaking of figuring things out, is I just want to, run by you emails. I mean, I've been on this board a lot, it seems like the emails are coming either blind CC or not together. I clearly get when we're talking about something that we have to weigh in on a hearing, but I'm not seeing us being all together emailed. Like, I didn't know that last time it wasn't quorum, so can we go back to just emailing everybody on it, myself, everybody? And then if there's a subject that people have to respond independently, then, we're all grown-ups and professionals, we can do that. But it just seems like I'm missing information,
The
and
only,
it's just easier.
My practice was always to be CC, so I can certainly, and confirm with Jennifer kind of that line of where I'm allowed to or not. I'm safe, I'm better safe than sorry is my thing, so I don't ever want to put anybody in a predicament where I've
Yeah,
sent
no,
an
I get
email
it.
to all of
Yep.
you, but I understand that.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
always-
yeah.
It's just when you're seeing one half and not the other half.
I'm like, oh,
there's
Right.
always been a
Yes.
question regarding email and quorums.
That's where-
That's the line.
That's why I try
So
to be
that's the
very
tricky
careful.
part. When
Yeah,
suddenly we're putting 4 commissioners on the same email, there's been arguments in the past about quorums and what goes on in discussion chains and what goes on.
But I think
in
coming
this-
to attendance.
so, but I
is
think
okay.
the general information that
We
we've
don't-
always done,
it's just-
myself have done that in the past.
To discuss cases.
That's what I'm saying, as
Yeah.
long as it's not to
Shouldn't
discuss cases, then we should all be on one email.
Mhm.
If you need to check on something else, then yeah, split it, but it's just easier, I think, for the group to see, oh, okay, I might not be here on this one, that gives Harry a heads up, so if we all see that together, then we all
Sure,
know to
yeah.
begin. So, I mean, I trust you guys to know what emails to
didn't
send
know
out.
What was getting
to get-
fragmented?
I try to be, it was probably the one about attendance, because you didn't know Wendy wasn't gonna be here.
Yeah.
Or did
No, I
I?
didn't either.
So it's probably,
I didn't know when you.
honestly,
that was
typically all of them, I will, I'll put you on it, and I'll BCC everybody else, because like I said, that's always been my practice on it. It kind of didn't matter what it was, that's what I was doing, because I didn't want to cause that quorum
Okay.
thing.
Yep.
But I can certainly talk with
Okay.
Steve and Jennifer, have them
Sure,
kind of fine
sure.
line for me what I
Yeah,
can do.
I mean,
And I can work on it.
if it's a quorum thing, then BC the other ones. If it's not, then hey, put it out there, because then we can say, all right, if you're not gonna be there, maybe we can look to change a time, but, things like that.
I
It's
gotcha.
definitely nothing meeting related, but the old way,
That's fair. Oh,
Yeah.
no
Yeah.
problem.
We can
I'll
do
get that taken care of.
perfect. And then that will, it's just a little thing. All
Those
right,
things
is there anything else? Harry, anything else, with you that you have?
I did have a question to ask to
Oh, I'm
Harry.
all set.
Okay,
Harry,
so
are you-
he's got a question for
Are
you.
you aware of anything going on at Tuckerwood through the Boy Scouts?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
Eileen, any questions while we're all here? Okay, well, then, everybody
Motion.
good? Anything else on you guys then? Nicole? All right. Okay, then, Chair would entertain a motion.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor, roll call vote, Marilyn Midot, aye. Eileen Prisco.
Aye.
Harry Bailey.
Aye.
All right, everybody have a good evening. And then you can, and yeah,
Yeah.
congratulations, honey.
I'll make sure she comes by and gets the video.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
She was in town on